So you might be wondering, what does it mean to declutter your finances? Declutter just seems like such a big word, but really it's just going over your bills, going over the money that's coming in, and kind of figuring out what you can cut, what you no longer use anymore, or what you need to negotiate. Because sometimes there are bills that actually can be lowered just by negotiating with the company, or maybe you have a subscription service that you no longer use, but you're still paying for every single month. Yeah, that dreaded gym membership. So this is where you kind of look over things just before the year is about to end, and you figure out what you can cut out of your life and your finances. So the first step in decluttering your finances is to figure out your why. Why do you want to do this? What is your reasoning? Understanding why you're going to put yourself through the trouble of going through every penny step by step. Now, I'm not saying this is a hard challenge, but you got to know what your reason is. My personal reason is because my son is going to be going off to college in a year. So I want to make sure that when he goes off, I'm able to afford college tuition, I'm able to afford to buy him a car, I'm able to afford to basically take care of him. Empty nester, here I come. I'm so excited.
What am I gonna do? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm gonna stay up all day. I'm gonna sleep up all night. I'm gonna give it a ho, hey, ho, and I'm gonna stop worrying about calories.
But I want to make sure that financially I'm still good and that he's good and everything is taken care of a year in advance. You might think this is over planning, but it really isn't. It's understanding why you're doing this, why you're taking the time of your busy schedule to create the life that you want for yourself. So step number 2 is creating a budget. Now, when you're creating a budget, it doesn't really matter how you do it. Whether you want to write it on the back of the envelope, my mom does that, that's your budget. That's how you want to do it. I personally like a spreadsheet. Some people might like a notebook. Whatever you use, it's fine, as long as you know what money you have coming in and what money you have going out, and no guesswork. So don't go and say, okay, it could be about that amount of money. It could be about $30. You have to know the correct number to create an accurate budget. So step 3 is take a hard look at the numbers. Now you're seeing them in front of you. You're seeing all the things that your money is going to. So if at the end of the month you have $0, then either that's what you want and you've already saved money and everything is good, or it could just be that you're overspending. If you have a negative amount, yeah, you're overspending. If you spend less than you think, then that's a great thing, okay? But be honest with yourself. In my budget, I always put annual expenses. Now, these are expenses that don't come up every single month. They come up yearly, like your car registration, if you have travel plans, Christmas presents, school fees, whatever the case may be. Those don't come up every single month. Those are yearly. So I take the total amount and I divide that by 12 months. And then I save that over the year so that when the time comes to pay those fees, I have the money, or I have close to the money so that I'm able to take care of those bills. Now, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to say, okay, either what can I cut so that my budget balances, or maybe you want to cut to save more money. Whatever it is, it's time for you to put in the work. I have my budget, so it's time for you to kind of set the reality and make yours as decluttered as possible. Kind of want to make it simple. You know, you don't want 100 bills. You want to make sure that, let's say you have 6 bills, you have them all put at a time that you have the money deposited into your account, which is your paycheck or wherever you make your money, but you have that money and you're able to share it out and still have something for yourself. And this is why the first thing I do when I get paid, and this is from The Richest Man in Babylon, is I pay myself first. And I always pay myself 10%. Now it could be 10 to 20, but that's gonna be up to you. So now we get to the juicy part. It's time for you to start decluttering. Now, you're gonna go over everything tooth and nail. Remember, we were talking about our why we're saving this money? Well, here's how powerful your why is. This is how you're gonna know. It's the time where you start looking at your bills, you start looking at the Netflix, Prime, you're looking at your gym membership, you're looking at every single thing your money is going to, and you are making the decision to cut them out. And it doesn't have to be permanent, it doesn't have to be forever. Maybe for you, you're trying to save for a really nice Christmas for your family, especially after, you know, the thing happened, right? Or maybe for you it's a family vacation, and once that's done you can go back to living your life the way you want to. But sometimes you have to give up your wants so that you can have the things that you really need. And maybe needing those things like my son's college or a new car or a new refrigerator, whatever it is more important than a Netflix account. And you might think, it's only $20. Yeah, well, $20 in 4 months is $80, and that will make a little difference. And if you take those $80 and you make those little changes of $20 and $10, at the end of the day, you probably have like $500-600 at the end of 4 months. So kind of see where the little things are going, and once you get in control of the little things, then you can start focusing on the really big things, like saving for your future or whatever. If you don't mind, if you want to, I would love to see what you guys are saving for. As you know, my goal is for my son going to college, but I would love to know what you guys are saving for. Why are you even watching this video in the first place? For me, tip number 5 is not to pay your debt yet. Okay, for me, it's saving. I feel like saving is so important. I always pay myself first, 10 to 20% before anything else. I make sure that my hard work is being paid for. And regardless of what the financial expert says, you need to have money in your account. You need to have money for an emergency if something goes wrong, because that's just life. And you need to just be able to learn the habit of saving. It does not have to start at 10-20%. You can start at 1%. Start saving that 1% of your paycheck every single week. And you might think, really 1%? Really 1%? You're trying to create the habit of saving, and to create a habit, it takes time. So start saving 1% for the first month, let's say. And then second month, you're gonna do 2, and then 3, 4. In 10 months, you're gonna be saving 10%. And you're not gonna miss that money as hard as if you started saving 10% right now. So that's tip number 5. So tip number 6, and my final tip, is now we discuss debt. So after you figure out your why, after you've budgeted your finance, after you know where your money's going and start to cut back, and then you start to save money, save all your coins. Tip number 5 is pay your debts. And I know that debt is a taboo. People don't want to talk about it, but debt is a reality in this society. And if you want to be free of it, you have to pay it off. And by doing so, you will create a really decluttered mind, because then your money is yours and you can choose where it goes. So I like to use the snowball effect. The snowball effect is simple. It's basically, you start with your smallest debt and you work your way up to your biggest debt. You list them all one by one. You don't care about the interest rates. And what you do is you pay the smallest one, and then you work your way to the next one. And the next ones, you're going to be paying your minimum payment until the smallest one has been paid off. So you're going to go smallest debt, and then next one and next one. So for example, if you have a $300 debt, a $500 debt, a $1,000 debt, and a $5,000 debt, you're gonna start by paying all the money that you have, other than the money that's being paid as the minimum payment for the other 3 debts. You're gonna use that money and you're going to pay off that $300 debt. Then you're going to jump to your next debt. Next debt for $500, you're gonna take the amount that you were giving to your $300 debt. Let's say it was $250. You're gonna add it to your minimum payment that you were paying on the $500 debt. And then subsequently, you're gonna start paying that amount onto the $500. Once the $500 is paid off, you then take that amount of money and you put it on your $1,000, and so on and so forth. It takes a while to get this paid off, but in that way, you're not using all your money to pay off debt. And at the same time, you're trying to protect your credit score if that's important to you. Because whether your plan is to buy a house or a car or whatever the case may be, you might need a credit score. So people will do cash, but hey, we're not all perfect and we don't all jump into cash. And don't think you're the only person who has to deal with debt, because at the end of the day, debt is just the reality of this society, and even companies pay debt. You might be like, where do you come off? Well, there was a time where I was like $25,000 in debt, and I had to pay that off being a single mom and a teen mom at the same time. So it was not easy. So when it comes to debt, I am not a stranger. I bought my first house at 24 years old, and now I'm older and I've built my own home. So like, trust me when I say my job, my full-time job is to take care of companies and make sure that they're not in debt and make them make money. But you know, I can't make you do it. You're gonna have to do it for yourself. And let's say the next 4 months, you actually put in the hard work and you do this, like imagine what the new year will be like. If you've made it this far in the video and you are working on your personal finances and you're decluttering them like I am, congratulations, you're doing an amazing job. And thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy that you're doing this for yourself, or whoever you're doing this for, or whatever your goals are. I feel like this is the first step into creating the life that you want. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.